Hi, welcome to Full Stack Web Developer course. In the previous session, we have seen that we have bought GoDaddy hosting and we hosted our application on the server. So over the GoDaddy, you can see that we have got the HTML5 and CSS files for the doctor's appointment project and we have hosted it. So the doctor's appointment project looks somewhat like this, where we have a health app as a logo. Then we have home, about, and services. The pages needs to be connected. We have configured the hover options. Then we have a get started option. When we click on get started, we switch to the area where we have to find the doctor. And once we click on this search button, we are going to get the doctors or something like that. We are going to implement. Then we have a find the best doctor, get the appointment, and happy consultations. Now, in general, when we are doing this, we are here to find and search your suitable doctor, which means somewhere the doctors should be available in the databases. And depending on the kind of search we are doing, when we will type the name of the doctor or the type of the service, we are going to perform a search. And depending on the search, we are going to get some doctor's information returned. Okay, somewhat like this. So what am I going to do? Let us just create another page. When we are going to search for it, we are going to get a section where these doctors will be displayed to us. Okay, we'll do something like that. So find the doctors. Okay, once we click on search, we might be redirected to the next page, and I'm just imagining how it should work. Okay, so I can type in the name of the doctor or the type of doctor which is required and the area which is required. Depending on the area and the doctor, a search is going to be performed. Then I'm going to get a list of doctors and the kind of services they are offering to us. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So we'll go to search.php along with a post request, and we're going to get the output. Okay, we'll do it like that. So what am I going to do? I do need to make a search page also. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll quickly go to, let's say, Adobe XD. What am I doing is I'll be creating a search page also. So I think this is Full Stack Developer CloudWorks, which we have been working on. Okay, what am I going to do? Let us just make a copy of this page. Okay, this is the index page. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to rename it to search page. Okay, on this search page, what I would be doing, let's say, I'm going to remove a few sections. I want to remove the banner section, let's say. Okay, banner section has been removed. And within this banner section, or else what I can do is I can keep the banner section, but I'm going to show the list of doctors here. Okay, so I'll get into the banner section. I have a form section. I have a banner image. Both of these content I want to remove. Okay, then what I want, I will go to the service section. Within service section, I have a appointment section and a consultation section and a background. Okay, so what I can do is either, let's say, I'm going to copy this, the consult section, appointment section, and the search section. So what I can do is, yeah, I just copy these three sections and I'll go to my banner section and I'm going to paste the content on the banner section. Sorry. Okay, I've got the content in the banner section and I'm going to pick these to this to the second section. And somewhere here, I'm going to get the search and all that part. Okay. So here my doctors and all those will be displayed. So I've got a service section. Okay, I do need to vice versa it, I think. Or let's do one thing here. Let's keep that service section itself. Let's delete the other sections. I've got a navigation bar and I'm going to delete the description section also. I just want to keep the content like this. Okay. And here, search page, or we found the following doctors for you. Let's say we're going to give a message. We found the following doctors for you. And here we are going to display the doctor's information. Okay. Let's say, I'll say doctor name, doctor information. Okay, like this, it's going to be displayed. Again, doctor name, doctor information. Doctor name and the doctor information. Okay, like this. So we are going to get the list of the doctors. So I've got a search section, appointment section, consult screen section, and I'm going to rename it to doctor section 1, doctor section 2, section 2, and doctor section 3. Section 3. Okay. Whatever doctors we are going to get, we are going to display them here. Okay. Now what do we want? We want to make a backend API, and I also want to export this to the search page. Okay. So I'll go to the search page also, and I'll just get to my Anima plugin just to ensure that I have all my configurations done accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to set the hover effect. Already it's already set as grow. Okay, I'm going to edit it. It's already set as grow. Then I'll go to the third section and it's already in the proper format. So I'm going to export the code. And whatever code has been exported, I will be saving it in my CloudWorks. Full stack CloudWorks. Okay. And this is going to be doctor appointment project with search. Okay, so I've exported the code. I'll go to the code, downloads, full stack CloudWorks, doctor appointment project with search. I'm going to extract the content. When I extract, I get it somewhat like this. And now within this, you can see that we also have a search page also. Okay, a search page.html. Okay, so I'll just open it and see how it looks like in a Safari browser. So here is the search page. Would look somewhat like this. Okay, This is going to be the search page.html, which I'm going to modify depending on the search responses. Okay. So what we will do now, we are going to update our search page over the server. So I go to my website, hackveda.in:2082, and in the doctor directory where I have my index page available, I'm going to paste my search page.html also. Then I'm going to modify the content accordingly. Okay, it's taking a little time. Okay, I may go to the next page, hackveda.in:2082. I'll just log into my cPanel. In the same way, you also have to log into your cPanel. And I'll go to File Manager. I'll go to public HTML directory. Within public HTML, I have a directory known as doctor. And within this doctor, I already had the index.html. Now I'm going to upload my search page.html. Okay, from the full stack CloudWorks, I'm going to upload search page.html. So I've got my search page.html also posted on the server. Okay. Now what are we trying to do? Let us see. Also what I want, I'll just copy the search page and I'll put it in the previous project so that we can modify it accordingly. Full stack developer CloudWorks. This is my previous project and I'm going to paste the item here, search page.html. And I'm going to open this directory in brackets now because I want to get started with the code. Okay. Now, how are we going to code and how are we going to display? That is what is the question. Okay. So first, we're going to do something like we're going to insert some values in find the doctor, and then we are going to send a request to the server and we are going to get some names in return. Okay. So how should we do it? So I'll quickly go to Trello and I'll walk you through the process of how to create the backend APIs. Okay. So what is going to be the steps? Steps for creating and connecting backend APIs. Okay. So the first thing what we do need to have is a database. Okay. Then we do need to have a web service, and then write the request, write the jQuery request to connect with web service from front end pages. Okay, these are going to be the 3 steps which we are going to perform. How are we going to do that? I'll show you. So I'll go to cPanel and now I need to create a database. So I'll quickly go to PHP my admin, or else I can go to MySQL databases and create a new database first, create a new user, and then I'm going to add in data in it. Okay. So let's say I'll go to MySQL database wizard. We are going to create a database. I'm creating a database which already will be having hackveda_. This is my username. In the same way, you might get a different username when you will be creating your databases. So you need to use the appropriate information when you will be creating the database and connecting the databases with the web service. Okay. Now, so I'll tell you one thing, what exactly happens. I'll quickly make 3 blocks here so that you'll get the correct information. So one is the front end part. Okay. Then we have a web service, and then we have a backend database with which we are going to connect. Okay. Now, from your front end page, you are going to send a request to the web service. The web service will send a request to the database. The database is going to respond the data, and then the web service is going to put the data on your HTML pages so that the doctors will then be displayed. Okay. So how we did, we have sent a find doctor request. Okay. Find doctor request we sent using jQuery. And this could be, let's say, from the index.html and the search page.html. And search page.html. Suppose these are the two, these are the two pages which comes in the front end part. And I'll also write this is the front end. At the center, there will be a web service, and then you will have a database. Okay. Now, so this is how we are going to create. So what do we need is, in the database, we are going to create a database where there will be a serial number, there will be a name of the doctor, and there will be information of the doctor. Okay. There will be three things which we are going to create in the database. And the web service is going to, depending on the request for find doctor, the web service is going to read the data from the database and will return it to the front end page. Is that clear? This is how we are going to work. Okay. You can also call this file will be known as web service.php. We'll start from PHP first. Okay. PHP is going to be the first backend language which we will be using. Then we can proceed to Node, followed by Django, and other options are also available. But initially, we'll get started with the web service with PHP. Now, so you got, Gaurav, just confirm. Are you
Yes,
clear
sir.
with the idea? What all we do need to do? Cool. So I'm going to clear it and I'm going to make a database now. Okay. So to create a database, let's say I'm going to call this database as doctor. This is going to be the doctor database. Okay. Hackveda_doctor. What will be the username? I will keep the username as same. Password, I'm going to keep an easy one, ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5. I'm using a simple one, ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5 for now. And I'm just creating a user. Okay. So I've saved the password. No, that's not required. I'm going to allow all the privileges. Majorly, what do we need to do? We do need to provide the permissions for select and insert, create new, drop, all of these. But since we might be doing a lot of queries, so currently I'm giving all privileges, okay, to this. I'll make changes, okay. And now you can see user Hackveda_doctor was added to the database Hackveda_doctor. So the database is ready. And I'm going to use the database here. So database information, which I have created. DB name is, database name is Hackveda_doctor. Okay. DB user is Hackveda_doctor. Pass, let's say DB pass, database password. This is ABCDE 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. These are the three things which is required. And one more we always need. These are the four information which is always required. Host, and we can call it as the local host so that we can connect to the database. Okay. Now, once we got this information, now what we will do, we'll go to the cPanel menu again, and we will get into the databases. Okay. So we'll go to phpMyAdmin. Now in phpMyAdmin, I'll quickly search within my Hackveda account. There are a lot of databases, and I have created this one, Hackveda_doctor for us. Okay. This is the database Hackveda_doctor. Now, within this, we are going to create a table, and name of the table will be doctors. Okay. Which will have 4 columns: serial number, okay, doctor name, doctor information, and let's say the location where they might live. Okay. So we're going to create 4 information. So I'm creating a table known as doctors. Now, the first name will be let's say ID. Okay, every doctor will have a unique ID. We are going to auto increment the IDs, and we will keep the ID as primary key. Okay, whenever we create a database, we do need to create a primary key so that we can uniquely identify the data. Now in our current case, we'll have a doctor name. Okay, let's call this doctor name. It's going to be text. Okay, third will be doctor information. This is also going to be text. And then we are going to have, let's say, a region. Okay, so we call it as doctor area, the area in which he lives, doctor area. So I'm going to save, and I'm going to insert a few information, okay, in this doctor's table. So I'll go to insert, and I'm going to insert a few information for the doctors. And how will I do that? I'll just open one more browser. Okay, and I'll just type doctors near me from Google, and I'll just see some names of the doctors here. Okay, so I'll call it as, I'll just copy these names. Okay, let's say Dr. Bhanu. Information would be, or let's go here, practo.com, and we'll see. Okay, so here we're going to have some information. Let's say I have Dr. Manish Mathur, or we could have, let's use the same one, So I'm going to copy this image. Let's say copy image address. There is one more thing which we will do here. Let's just add the doctor's image also. So I'll go back to my database structure, and I'm going to add one more information, which is going to be doctor image. So I'll add one after the doctor area, and this is going to be doctor image. I'm going to keep it as text. So now there will be 5 information which we will be keeping here for the doctors. So let's say I'm going to insert it. Okay, so I'll call this as Dr. Manish Mathur. Doctor information is, let's say, 23 years experience overall. Okay, doctor area stays in Rohini. Okay, Rohini, Delhi. Doctor image is going to be copy the image address. So I'm going to use this image. Okay, the JPG image. So I've inserted one doctor. Now I'm going to insert more. Let's say I'll add a few more. I'll call Dr. Bimal Kumar Dubey. He is going to be 24 years experience overall. Stays at, let's say, I'll change some names. I'll call it as Pitampura. Or let's say we'll keep it for Rohini first so that we get to see multiple people coming in. Rohini, Delhi. And the doctor image is going to be this. Copy image address. And I'll use this one, the JPG image. Okay. So I've got 2 doctors posted. Then I'm going to add a few more. I'll say Dr. Dr. Vipul Rustagi. Doctor information, 9 years experience overall. Okay, this is going to be Rohini, Delhi again. Doctor image is going to be this. I'm going to insert, and one more I'll add. for some other area, let's say Shalimar Bagh, Paschim Vihar. Okay. So Dr. Ayush Gupta, 31 years experience overall. Okay. And what we will do, then we will have Shalimar Bagh, okay, followed by the doctor image. Okay, so we got a few information. I think we would be needing one more thing, which should be doctor's category also, because you cannot directly search with the name, or you need two things. One is find the doctor, so we can search the name, or else we can get a doctor category also. Okay, so let me just add one more after doctor information. I'm going to add, or let's say I can just add it at the end also, and this is going to be doctor category. I'm going to call it as doctor category. This is going to be text. Okay, so I'm going to categorize these doctors. And how am I going to categorize them? I'll show you that. So I've got Dr. Manish Mathur. I'm going to add him as general physician. Okay. Second category will also be general physician. General physician. Physician. Then the third one from Rohini also is also going to be a general physician. The fourth one, chalo, we'll keep it as general physician only. Okay, not a problem. We're going to use general physician in the Rohini area. Okay, like that. We're going to search. Now, so we got 3 for Rohini, 1 for Shalimar Bagh, and all these are general physicians. Okay, got it? Gaurav, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we got the database ready. Okay, so that's how we create the databases. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to do one more thing here. Okay. So we got the database ready. Now, what we would be needing, we had a DB table also. DB table is doctors. ये हमारी doctors table है. Okay. And we have got the database ready. Now what we do need to do, we need to create the web service. Okay. Creating a web service is something like connect to the database and get access to the data. Okay. So we are going to create a web service. And what am I going to do? I will open my brackets IDE. With the brackets IDE, I'm going to open my directory, which is doctor's appointment project. Okay, this is what I will be currently using. So I have an index.html page over here under the doctor appointment project directory. I want to create a new file within this, and this new file will be known as webservice.php. Okay, so I'm creating a new service known as webservice.php. So we'll start writing PHP. PHP is PHP hyper preprocessor. So what you need to do is you can write the PHP code within this tag only. So whenever you are going to start writing the PHP code, it has to be within the opening PHP header and the closing question mark and bracket. All the text content between this tag will be treated as PHP code. Okay. Now, so what do we need to do? First, we need to create a service. Okay. In the service, what are we going to do? Let's say we are going to get, okay, we're going to receive a post query. Within this post query, we are going to receive, let's say, search. One will be the search parameter, which we will receive. I'm going to save it into a variable known as search parameter. Okay. Followed by, we will be reading another post request. This post request will receive area. So we are going to receive two, we are going to receive two requests, two information from the request. One will be the search parameter and second will be the area. So we are going to use it as search area, a variable. So now once we have got both of these values, now we are going to connect to database. Okay. So we do need some basic credentials to connect to database. So first we need a host. We are going to call it as localhost. It's a string. Then we need database name. Database name is hackveda_doctor. Then we would be needing DB password, which I have kept as ABCDE12345. Then DB host, we will be needing DB username also. DB user. That's also going to be hackveda_doctor. Okay. So this is the information which is required to connect to the database. Okay. Now what you're going to do? You're going to make a connection. Okay. To make a connection, what do we generally use? We make use of MySQL connections. Okay. MySQLi connections. So I'll quickly take you to a resource, which is W3 Schools, and I'll show you how we make a connection in PHP. Connect to database PHP. Okay, that's how we search. So here is the function MySQLi connect function, which we are going to use. Okay. So what do we need? We are going to create a new connection by calling new MySQLi and by passing all this 4 information. And with this, we are going to get our connection. Okay. So how am I going to do that? I will be doing it in this way. So I'm going to create a connection known as con. So con is a variable. I'm going to make a new MySQLi connection, which will be needing 4 information. First is the host to which you want to connect to. Second would be DB name. Third would be DB user. And fourth would be DB password. Okay. These will be 4 parameters which would be required to connect to the database. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So how would you be using? DB name would be the last. You need a host, then you need a user, you need a password, and then the database name. So I'm going to keep it at the end. You have got the DB user, you've got the database password, and you've got the database name. So with this, we are going to get the connection. Okay. So how, once we have got the connection ready, then we are going to write an SQL statement. Okay. SQL statement will say select star, or we can say in this way, select doctor name, doctor information. I'll just keep it on one side so that we will also be able to see the database values which we have created here. Okay. So we are going to select, I'll quickly go to the structure, and I'm going to select doctor name. doctor information, doctor image. Okay, these three things we are going to get from the table. Okay, and the table name is doctors. From doctors, where, okay, where, let's say initially we are going to search the area and the category, where doctor area like, ठीक है, यहाँ पे हमें वो करना है, डॉक्टर एरिया स्पेसिफाई करना होगा, एंड डॉक्टर एरिया होगा मान लो जो हमारा वेरिएबल है, डॉक्टर एरिया लाइक search area. Okay, this is going to be the search area which we would be needing, dollar search area. So I'm going to concatenate it, and here in PHP the concatenation symbol is dot. Okay, so we are going to use it percentage. So this will help us search. Okay, now what next we are doing? So we are searching the search area, followed by and doctor category. Doctor category like, okay, percent. This is going to be search parameter. Search parameter, which means we are going to have okay, we are going to have the search parameter like this. So we got an SQL query also written. So what it will eventually do, I will quickly show you how it works. Okay, so if I execute it here on the database, so we can do it something like this. Select star from doctors where doctor area like, okay, percentage, and I will say Rohini. Okay, and doctor category like is a parameter to search. Okay, so like this will be, let's say, general physician. This is what we are searching. So if I search, so you can see that this time we are going to get only 3 doctors out of it. Okay, Dr. Manish Mathur, Bimal Kumar Dubey, and Vipul Rastogi. Similarly, if I change the area, okay, because we have other area also. Let's say I think the second one was Shalimar Bagh.
Yes, sir.
If I say I am searching something in Shalimar, so I'll quickly go and I get to see that in Shalimar Bagh, there's a general physician known as Dr. Ayush Gupta, 31 years experience overall. Okay, like that. So that's how we search. And the same thing we have written here in the code to search the doctor, depending on the parameters which we are going to give to the user. Okay. Now what do we need to do? We need to make a connection. And how do we do? So once you are done making the new MySQLi connect, what you can do is you can make a connection or you can execute an SQL query. Okay. So what do we do, or how we do it? So we do it like this: $con /query. So we are executing a function known as query, And within this query, we are going to pass the SQL statement. Okay. And the return value will be stored into result. Okay. So connection is an object. Using that object, this is the scope resolution operator. With the scope resolution operator, we are calling a function known as query, and then we are passing our SQL statement in it. Depending on the execution, we are going to get a result. So since it's a result is a select query, so we are going to get some number of rows returned. So we are going to quickly check if $result has number of rows underscore number of rows is greater than 0, which means if there is a doctor available, okay, if we have got any doctor available, then we are going to write a while loop and we will read all the doctors. Okay, so $row is equal to $of result. We are going to fetch associative array. So from the result, we are going to fetch the associative array. Associative array means we are going to get an array return in this format appropriately, where association means we are going to call the name of the key and we are going to get its value. So this is known as an associative array. Okay, you're going to call the name of the key and you're going to get its value in return. So this is an association. So this association is known as an associative array. So what are we going to do? We are going to, from each row, we are going to get, let's say, doctor name. We're going to get the doctor name and I'm going to save it into doctor name. Okay. Then I'm going to get from the row, I'm going to get doctor information and I'm going to save it into a variable known as doctor info. And finally, we are going to get $row doctor image. Okay, we're going to get the doctor image also, and I'm going to save it into doctor image. Let's say doctor image. So now we have got all the three values extracted. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So while we are going to get this information, we are going to create an outcome also, and we are going to present this information in a beautiful format, as in a JSON format. We can return the response because there are multiple information we need to send it back to the front end. Okay. So what I'll do, we are going to make it something like this. Okay. Let's say we are going to get the data, doctor name, doctor information, and doctor image. So what are we going to do? We can do it this way. Let me just quickly recall. So I'm going to add an object. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do? No, we should do it in a way where we got the doctor name, we got the doctor info, we got the doctor image. Now we should have a response variable, let's say data. Okay. So, I'm going to add okay. I'm going to merge the information in it. Okay, just a second. So I've got the doctor name, I've got the doctor information, I've got the doctor image, and I do want to add it in such a way that it becomes, the JSON object. So just give me a second. I'm just recalling how to add it in a beautiful way so that we are going to get the results appropriately. So we are going to have a JSON object again and again. As soon as it executes, I'm going to get a random name. Yeah. Okay. What I'll do, I'll add it into the ID. Okay. We'll select the ID also. And we are going to get the doctor ID, Okay, because doctor ID is the primary key which we took. So I'm going to get the we are going to get the ID also. Okay, select ID, doctor name. We're going to get the ID also. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to use this IDs as the key. So we have to add the data in a key value pair format. So I'm going to create a data where doctor ID, I'm going to insert a few values. Okay. And what am I going to insert for the doctor ID? Let's say I am going to have, let's say, doctor data, doctor underscore data. I should have it in a way. I have a doctor data where I'm going to have the doctor name. Let's say doc name. This is going to be the key, and I'm going to add the doctor name as the information in it. Then I'm going to have the doctor data, and I will call it as doc info, and I'm going to save $doctor info in it. Then I'm going to have doctor data, and I'm going to have doc image, and I'm going to add $doctor image in it. So I've got all the three values updated. Then for the doctor ID, I'm going to store the doctor data, $doctor data. Okay. So that's how we are going to get a lot of doctors with respect, and they will be saved with respect to their IDs. Finally, I'm going to add a message here in the data. One will be the status, or we can call it as a result. Okay, we can say result is true. Okay, and there will be another key, result message. Okay, so we'll say doctors fetched successfully. Doctors fetched successfully. So that's how we are going to get the data in this way. In case if we have not got any doctor, we are going to keep the result as false. We are going to keep it as false, and we are going to have the message as doctors, no doctors found. Okay. So what we did, we created a database and we created a web service also. And this web service is going to work in such a way where what is going to happen? We are going to give two parameters. One will be the search parameter, second will be the area parameter. And depending on that, we are going to get some information returned. Okay. Now what we do? Prateek, I need you also to follow what I'm doing, because in your app part, also we have to create the web service. So this is going to be very helpful for you also. Okay.
Yes, I'm here only.
Yeah. Cool. Now, so now what are we doing? We have created the web service. Okay. Now we are going to deploy it on the server and test it, whether the web service is working fine or not. So what I'll do, I will go to my file manager in the doctor's project. Okay. And I'm going to upload another file, which is going to be under my full stack CloudWorks, under my doctor appointment project, webservice.php. The code which I have just written, I'm going to upload it on my server. So now you can see that I have got my files uploaded. I'm going to reload this page, and you can see that now on the server, we got the webservice.php posted. Okay. Now, so we got two things done. We got our database ready. We got our web service ready. Now, before we write the jQuery request to connect with the web service from front-end pages, we do need to test it using a tool like Postman. Okay. So we are going to test the web service before connecting to front-end application, before connecting to front-end app using a tool known as Postmaster. It's a free tool which you can download. Okay. You can go to the website of Postman here and you can quickly download Postman. Postman is an important tool, very, very important tool in order to test the web services. So you can go here, try it for free. Okay. There are various options available. You can download the app for Mac and for other systems also. So what am I going to do is I'm going to share the link to download Postman also here. You can download Postman from this page. So it's much required, Pratik, for testing web service as well as Gaurav. So guys,
I have Postman.
You have Postman, cool. Now what we'll do, we'll just open Postman application. So before we connect it with the front end, what we do is we test it first. Okay. So what do? We are going to create a new collection here. So let's call it as new collection because we might be creating multiple web services in a project. Whenever we create a web project or a mobile application project, there will be many web services which you need to write. So it's always a good idea to make a collection. Okay. So I'm going to call it as Doctor Appointment Project. Okay. This collection is going to be known as Doctor Appointment Project. So I've got my doctor appointment project made here. Now within this, what am I going to do? I'm going to create a request or I'm going to add a request. Okay. With add a request, what I'm doing is this is my first request, which is search doctors request. Okay. So I'm going to create a request, which is going to be search doctors request. Okay. This is the request search doctors and I'm going to test it for now. Since in the code, if I show you, in the code, if you see, we have done the following. In the code, what are we doing? We are receiving the post request. And in the post request, we are receiving the search parameter and an area parameter. So these two, we have to send it. So the type of request which has to be sent is a post request. There are a lot of other HTTP methods available, but the current one which we will be using is the post method. Okay. So with the post method, to which URL we want to send the request, we want to send the request to https www.hackWithA.in/doctor/webservice.php. This is the service where we want to send the request. And what do we want to send? We want to send two parameters. One is going to be the search parameter. Second is going to be the area parameter. Okay. So you have got the search parameter. Search parameter, our web service will be receiving at the server side. And there will be an area parameter, which our web service will be receiving. And depending on the search parameter and the search area, our query is going to be executed and we are going to get a result in return. So what am I going to do? Now I'm going to search. Let's say I want to search parameter would be my Rohini. Sorry, general physician. General physician. This is what I will be searching. And the area on which I'm searching is, let's say, Rohini. Okay. So I'm going to make a search and I'm going to send the request and see what I get in return. So currently, I haven't got any response from here. I just do need to check. Why did it happen? We got the search parameter and the area parameter, but we got no response. We just got a 200 OK response here. We'll quickly check. Okay. Why we got it? Because we have not responded anything back. We just added the data to the request, but we have not done the echo. So what else we do need to do? Now we are going to send the response back. So with the response, we are going to encode the data in the JSON format, and we're going to respond the data. Okay. This one line of code also needs to be added to your code. So this is sending response back, sending response back to the user, back to the request. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'll just add this line on my server side code also. Okay. So I'll go to the browser. I'll go to my code webservice.php. I'm going to edit it. You can edit your code in the web server editor also. So I'm going to add it here. Echo JSON encode. Save the changes. And now the changes have been saved. Okay. So now what we'll do, again, I will go back to my Postman. Okay. And I'm going to send the query and see what response I get. So now the request has been sent, and you can see that we have got a response back. Okay. You can see that we have got key 1, doctor name, Dr. Manish Mathur, doctor information null, doctor image, HTTPS. So this might be an issue because I might have misspelled maybe the doctor information. Okay. Because I'm getting the doctor information as null. Okay. So I'll check why my doc info is null, because doc info is null in all the cases. Okay. So this means I do need to check my database query also. Now again, if I am searching in the area Shalimar, let's say, so when I search, okay, doctors fetched successfully, I've got, no, I just need to rerun it, I think. I've got Manish, Bimal, Vipul, Ayush. I just search it again. Okay, we have matched with general physician. Okay. So we do need to match the search 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, and we got doctors fetched successfully. If I search at some other area, let's say I select Kanpur, let's say. Now there's some error with my query, so I just do need to check it quickly.
वो शायद जनरल फिजिशियंस के भी रिस्पांस उठा रहा है.
नहीं, जनरल फिजिशियन के तो उठा रहा है, बट वो नहीं उठाना चाहिए था. इस हिसाब से कुछ और सर्च करते हैं. ठीक है, नहीं, it's responding all of these are coming by default. I'll just check my query. Okay, so what I've done select ID, doctor name from doctors where doctor area is like this, and doctor category like general physician. Query to perfect. I don't think we have any issues in the query. Otherwise, I'll just quickly check, because we already tested it also, right? When we did the test here, this was the query, right? So what I'll do is I just copy the query and I'll put it here again. Let me just change it. So I have the query here. I'm going to change it to this is going to be my search area, $search_area And then I have a general physician category, which I'm going to change it to dollar search underscore parameter. Okay. So I have got my code updated. We'll copy that. And now I'm going to save it here in the web service code. I'll just modify the previous code and I'm going to save the changes to the new code. And now I'll go to my Postman service, send the request. That's very strange. I'll just quickly check back. Select star from doctors where doctor area like the search area and doctor category like the search category, search parameter. We got hyper doctor, doctors. We got a query, we got number of results. We got the doctors found, we got the ID, doctor name, doctor information, doctor image. We got the doctor name, doctor info. Okay, what I'll do is, let me just, save it once. We're getting all the 4 responses here. Let's say I want to search this. I've got the search, I've got the area. That's strange how it can happen. I've got the host, I've got the DB user, I've got the DB password, I've got the DB name correct. Result connection.query SQL. If we got number of rows greater than 0, so we got access to the fetch associative array. We have extracted ID, name, information, and image. Then we have added the doctor name, doctor info, doctor name into doc name, doc info, doc image. Okay. We don't have a doc info now. We have a doctor info. I think this should have given me an error also because I have not used doc info anywhere. Doctor name, doctor information, doctor info, doc info, doctor image, doctor data, doc image, doctor ID, doctor data, true and false. Okay. Just going to save it once again. I'm going to test it once more. Doc name, doc info is now coming. So that means the code has been updated. But this is quite strange. We are getting this should not happen actually, because when I was testing it here, I've used the same query. And when I search it here, so I'm getting the correct response. Select staff from doctors where doctor like Shalimar and doctor category like general physician. So I got only one response in return. But when I'm executing it in the code, search parameter, okay, maybe, okay. There might be one issue. I think the search parameter and the search area. Okay, I got one thing. I think the search and the search parameter is not being received, I believe. So what I'll do one more code here. I'm going to write a bad query statement here, and I'll check here if is set $_post search and an is set $_post area. If I'm getting, so I'm going to echo both of those, echo $search parameter, echo $search area. So earlier it might be happening that maybe the parameters might be empty. Okay, so I'm modifying the code a little. There might be a problem with the request, maybe. Now, so I've just saved it. Yeah. So that is the thing. The search and the area is not being received. That's why it was returning all the responses. So that could be a bad code, in case if I would not have taken care of whether the request is set or not. So now in this case, the request is not set. So that means I do need to send it in the body parameters. Okay. So what I'll do, I will go to my body and I'm going to say I'm sending some form data. One would be my search parameter. Second would be my area parameter. Okay. This is going to be general physician. This is going to be Shalimar. So I'm going to send it. And you can see that general physician Shalimar, now the data has been received, but it says result false, no doctors found, because I have just used this, the double quotes. So I'm going to remove the double quotes and I'm going to send the request. So now you can see that now it's working fine. We are getting only one doctor, that doctor name, Dr. Ayush, from that area. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'll get back to the code and I'm going to modify a few updates. So I'll just keep the echo off. And then what I did, I've got a JSON response. One more thing which you guys would be needing, you can see in the response, the URL is getting escaped. Okay. So what you have to do in order to avoid this scenario, your images won't be processed properly because you can see that all the backslashes have been escaped. So what we do in the response, we have to do one thing, and we call this as JSON unescaped sequences, unescaped slashes. Okay, JSON unescaped slashes. So what it will do, it will not escape it. Point one. Point two is I've got this, and I do need to check the doctor info part also. DOCTOR, doctor info. That is going to be the code. So I've saved it, and now I'm going to update my web service code. I've updated my web service code. I've saved the changes, and now I'm going to test it with my Postman. So now when I run, you can see that I'm getting the appropriate information now. So I'm getting the doctor's ID. I'm getting a doctor name, Dr. Ayush Gupta, doctor information, 31 years experience, doctor image, the image of the user without the escaped slashes, and the result is true, and the message is doctors fetched successfully. Now, when I search for some other area, let's say if I search for Rohini, I'm going to get 3 doctors here, 1, 2, and 3. If I search for some other area, let's say I'll search for Nasik. So I will get no doctors found. Okay. So now my web service is working fine. So before we get into the code of connecting the web service with the front end, it is always a good idea that the web service testers do this test that the web service at the backend is working fine. Okay. So what is being done? Front end we have already designed. Backend we have designed, the database we have created, the web service we have created, and what next we have done? We have got access to the proper web service also tested with Postman. Okay. Now we'll proceed with the connectivity part. Okay. So in order to connect from your front end page, you have to send a request using jQuery to the backend server, and then you're going to read the response and you're going to display it on HTML. Okay, somewhat like that we do need to do now. So how are we going to do? We can do it in multiple ways. So what we will do, we'll continue with the setup in the next session. Okay, we'll connect with the front end in the next part. Otherwise, it's going to be too long.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. So we are done with creation of the databases. We're done with creation of the web services. And now we are going to connect. We have done the testing and the web service is also running fine. The next part we need to do is we do need to write the jQuery request and connect with the web service from the front end.